Hey YouTube, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about my hidden gems on BYU. But before I do that, I need to tell you guys how to see all the other hidden gems. All you have to do, go to YouTube, search Rico Knows. Right? If you're watching this video right now, you're already on YouTube. So you go to YouTube, you search Rico Knows, go to the homepage, click on the little tab or the little link that says playlist, and then find the hidden gems playlist. You'll see all the other hidden gems. Okay? Because I'm identifying one hidden gem on every single team for the 2024 season. Now, in this video, I'm going to be talking about BYU. And I had to get their hidden gem out of the way. And as I was looking at the team, I've done a deep dive on BYU. Just so we're clear, I've done a deep dive on every single Power 4 team in America. And when I say deep dive, I'm talking like I've talked for half an hour on the team. I've given my predictions on their wins, their losses, how they match up in the Big 12, all that stuff. I've already done that video. It's on Patreon and it's on YouTube. If you become an MVP, join the channel, become a member, you will be able to see the content. Patreon's where it's at. Shout out to them. But you just go to Patreon, search Rico Knows. But when I look at BYU, wide receiver room, great. Return all their wide receivers. I'm a big fan of Keelan Marion here, the UConn transfer. I hope he does great things. I hope he gets in the rotation with the rest of these guys. But the reality is they return every single receiver that matters. And I think very highly of the BYU receiver room. They just got to find the right quarterback to get them the ball. Personally, I don't think BYU has the right quarterback to get them the ball. But that's a whole other story. If they did get him, they got him late in the transfer portal, and he's a transfer from Utah State. But I'm not even going to go there. We'll leave it alone. Offensive line, pretty solid. Pretty solid offensive line. Shout out to Caleb Etienne showing up to try and help it out. Whalen's here. Like, they got studs, okay? Connor Pay, they got studs. It's cool. I like the offensive line. It's comparable to a lot of Big 12 offensive linemen. Running backs, I'm cool. They found L.J. Martin last year. He had a split time with Aiden when he transferred in from UNLV. So you have a 1,000-yard rusher came in, and L.J. Martin still got his reps. That means he's a stud, and I'm looking forward to it. Now we look at this defense, and I'm so intrigued by the defense. Shout out to Jay Hill. Okay, defensive coordinator Jay Hill coming over from Weber State. What's important to understand about the defense at BYU is Jay Hill was learning on the job. Like, he didn't know the Big 12 offenses. So every week, from week to week, he's having to learn what their tendencies are, what their strengths are. And yes, he has defensive analysts that can help him, but there is no historical feel for like the play calling and what he's up against. And that's really important when you try to assess coordinators. It's why I'm not big on first-year coordinators new to a conference and they don't have any historical knowledge of what they're up against. I'm just letting you know. This year, he's going to have that knowledge. A lot of these quarterbacks are returning starters. A lot of these offensive coordinators are still in place and returning, and it feels like he should be better and more poised to make the right decisions. Wasn't quite in place. Now, they did lose Eddie Heckard last year. Great corner. They lost him to the draft. They lost the linebacker to the draft. They lost the defensive lineman to the draft. All guys that I thought, not draft, but to the NFL, if you will, to graduation. But they're still pretty solid. Tyler Batty's here, complete stud. And shout out to the defensive line. I want to say something. They're not all that productive, the rest of the guys. But they signed these dudes late in the process. They signed guys to the defensive line that I think are going to come and add depth, and they'll be fine up there. Jack Kelly coming in. He's from Weber State. He knows the defense. He knows what he's doing. Jack Kelly, I already talked about him on Twitter, and I told you guys when I watch film on this kid, he looks special. I can't make him my hidden gem because he's a star. He's going to be the starter. And I'm not going out there saying hidden gems and then I identify the best player on the defense. And he's going to be one of the best. Bywater's been injured all spring. Don't know much about him. Shout out to Ben Bywater. Doesn't really move me on tape. Wonder if Harrison Taggart's going to find his way onto the field if Bywater's not healthy. But that's a whole nother conversation. Collins wasn't healthy. He's here in the transfer portal. Congratulations. Alfrey's been healthy, but he's never impressed me. That's just me. Raider was once good in 7-on-7 back in high school or whatever. Good size safeties. I want to say this. When I go watch tape on these guys, really good size safeties. Jacob Robinson is a superstar. That is a shutdown corner, stud. And Micah Harper, probably one of the more talented players on the team, just didn't get to see him this spring if I remember correctly. But I want to talk about my hidden gem, and it's Tommy Prassas. Tommy Prassas, incoming true freshman from Chandler, Arizona. Huge. 6'2", 200-pound safety. Like, he's built the right way, bro. No diddy. He's built correct for football to play from day one. And I think he's going to find his way into the starting lineup. Tanner Wall's had a lot of injury issues and hasn't really been healthy. And that gives you an opportunity to get into the two deep. And Tommy Prassas is hitting, and I'm not surprised. We go to the recruiting websites. They have him 6'2", 190. I'm telling you, he's a little bigger now. Shout out to them. Played at a school called Basha. I don't know Basha. I know Chandler. I don't know Basha. 3 stars. So I go turn on the tape. I want to watch this kid, right? Of course, a white safety. His offer, San Diego Star or South Dakota State, SDSU, South Dakota State and BYU. Sounds about right. Sounds about white. But here's what I want to say about this. Can a freshman play safety? Well, Caleb Downs did it. Dylan Thieneman did it at Purdue, and this young man looks a lot like Dylan Thieneman. I'm not saying he's Dylan Thieneman. Dylan was amazing, and that was one of my hidden gems on Purdue last year. If you remember, before the season started, I said, my hidden gem on Purdue's defense is Dylan Thieneman. He's going to be better than his brothers, and he turned out to be a damn All-American. He's amazing. So here we go. We're looking at Prassas here, and initially, I was watching his tape. I got to hit mute on this. But I was watching his tape, and I'm so glad he doesn't stop the tape in the middle of the return here. But what I noticed was this young man is showing us, pick sixes, returning interceptions. That kind of stuff doesn't really move me all that much when I watch DB tape. And this is for all the DBs out there. I watch a lot of tape. I do my high school film reviews. What impresses me about defensive backs is never the interceptions. Like, it's necessary. But at the high school level, your interceptions, like that one, great catch. I like the catch of it. I like the ball skills behind it. But that interception is typically the result of either a really good pass rush or a terrible throw, right? Most interceptions are a quarterback didn't set his feet. He's just chucking it. The ball flies south in the winter. It's a duck, right? It's not any good. So the interceptions are like overthrows and ball was behind them. I'm not impressed with any of that kind of, look at that. It's like, what are you doing? You're throwing it right to my guy. But you can be impressed by the run after the catch. You can be impressed by the fact that he got to the ball because I want playmakers. But what I really look for on the tape is, are you comfortable in the box? Do you give max effort? Do you read the play before it takes part? Like, do you do all the right things? And that's what I'm looking for. And for me, this young man, he plays the right way. And what I'm talking about is we're going to see number 22 at times. He's going to be ready to go lay a hit. And when I say lay a hit, he just sees it right here. Watch him. Let's see if he does it here. He's standing. He's reading. Sees a man in motion. He's coming to help in the box. Going to make the tackle. I'm going to force a fumble. That's a playmaker right there. I like a guy out there forcing a fumble. I'm cool with it. I played against a kid like this when I was in high school. His name was Jeremy Thornburg. Played at NAU. He led them in tackles 2 years in a row. Ended up making it on the Eagles undrafted. There we go. Look at that. Just instead of going for the interception, it's reading my mouse all wrong. I got to click way over here to see it. Instead of going for the interception, he breaks on the ball and goes for the hit. This is another play. Look at this. He's just going to see the drag, read it, and goes for the hit. I love that instinct to want to punish somebody. That Ronnie Lott instinct. I don't know what you kids say. Who's the hitter in the kids' generation these days? Whoever it is, it's Prassas, man. And when you have that mentality. He's watching tape. Okay, we're rolling it up. Dropping into coverage. Turn your hips. Run. Find the hip. Push. See, I like to push below the waist. Push below the waist. No diddy. I push below the waist with my hand. They'll never call the PI. You can move your defender with your hand out below the waist. Here he is on top of the route. He'll go through you, but he won't get a penalty. It's just he has the ability to break on the ball, and he knows when to go for the pick or when to go for the hit and remind him you don't belong in this zone. And he just picks up everything he's got, everything he's looking to hit. I love it. It's just the right mentality. This is all about mentality right here. You're trying to hit me on look at that. We're going to get over the top and help. I think he just plays the right way. And I don't mean to be cliche there. But Tommy Prassas, his mentality and willingness to hit is going to find him on the field. I promise. That dude's going to be a hitter. I know tape when I see it. And I know when I see kids who are just out there to do some ballet dancing or whatever. Some guys are out there just to showboat and look good and do the seatbelt thing. I see the seatbelt thing 100 times in every video. I'm like, okay, bro, it didn't work the first time. Relax. This kid isn't doing that. This kid's out there to just crush people, a dream crusher, if you will. So there is a lot of depth on this defense. There's a lot of seniority, right? If I can be clear about this, I was watching an interview with Tommy Hill, and he said, hey, man, this defense, I said Tommy Hill, Jay Hill. He said this defense is ahead of schedule scheme-wise than they were last year. That means they're all in. They're watching film. They're learning. So when they get out on the field, they don't have to be thinking while they're going, right? They can just react. And I want a defense that reacts and gets to the ball. And when they get there, I want them to get there with bad intentions. And it feels like Tommy Prassas is that type of kid. I like somebody that size. I like somebody built like this. I think he's got a bright future. Coming in, passing people up on the depth chart, getting into the 2 deep as a true freshman, early enrollee. We haven't even got to fall yet. We haven't even got to all the other practices. There's 30 more practices to go before a game, and we haven't even got there yet. This kid's ready. I love it. Shout out to Tommy Prassas. That's my hidden gem on BYU for 2024 season. Hope he gets on the field and does something sweet. Look for number 22. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Peace, y'all. Check the playlist. Watch all the other videos.